In this video, we'll start doing the basic configuration of Arista next generation firewall. Here I'm logged in right now. First of all, we will configure our network. I'll click on configure and I'll click on network, which is the first thing that you must do. So what I'm going to do here, I will be changing the external first. This particular is my current IP address. It is taking from existing gateway, and I'll make sure that it doesn't take the IP address from DHCP. I want to give the static IP in case you have the static IP. Otherwise, if it is PPOE, where you will be converting your router or gateway which is given by the service provider to you, you can put that into bridge mode, and then you can define the PPOE user ID and password and use the PDNS and all of that. I will be keeping the device which is provided to me by the internet service provider. So I'll be using that as a first layer, and this I'll be configuring as a second layer. So auto DHCP has already provided me the IP address, but I'll be using the static IP address here, and I will configure the WAN IP address by myself. So this is WAN IP address. Of course, public IP will be different. My public IP, I can show you here what is my IP.com. So it will show me my public IP address here. So you can see this is my public IP, but I'll be creating the WAN IP address, which is 10.11.12.130. So I'll be using 24-bit of the mask, which is 255.255.255.0, and here I'll be adding 10.11.12.1 as the gateway. Same goes for the DNS as well. And here you need to make sure that you tick WAN. Of course, it is a WAN already. I can give it any name, so I will say WAN. So this is my WAN address, and this has been added over here. I can simply save it, and in order to make sure that this works, I can again check my internet connection, and it will be definitely working here. So if I go back here, settings are saved, internet is working fine. And similarly, if you want to have the IPv6 configuration, it is disabled right now. You can choose it in case you want to use, but I will not be using in this particular section here. And a redundancy, I will also explain you in next videos. And this is internal network, which will be automatically providing the IP addresses to my devices. I will be configuring this. So I will name it, for example, LAN, and it will be addressed. I will choose its address 172.16.1.1, and it will be, again, I will use it for 24-bit of the subnet. And here also I will choose it as a DHCP server. The reason is because this is going to be a LAN network. So whatever devices will be connected to this particular network, I want those to get the IP addresses automatically. So this will be there, and then I will go back and change the DHCP range now. Because I changed the IP address, DHCP range should be within the same range. So these will be, for example, starting from 100, and it will be ending on 250. And this is the lease duration, till what time you want to have the lease. And in case you want to override the gateway and override the network mask or override the DNS, you can do that as well. So I will not be doing that. I will use this particular Arista as a DNS server. So here I will simply press OK and save the changes now. So now you can see here that it will change the IP address of this also. I have now configured LAN and WAN. The IP address of this will be 172.16.1.1 the moment my network is connected here. Now if you click on host name, you will see here its name is Arista tutorial. You can change it, of course, depending upon your needs and requirements. And in case you are using the public IP address, you can use IP address for the external interface by default, or use the host name. So I'll be using the host name, for example. So it will be publicly, if you have opened this, so you will be able to use this. Otherwise, you can use the manually specified the IP address, which will be, for example, arista.syncbricks.com. So it will open that as well. So it will be automatically linked. The IP address will be linked to this particular DNS, and if you create this DNS record also, so it will start working. We will see that in the next videos once we start using OpenVPN and all of that. Services, it will be working on 443 if it is HTTPS. Otherwise, on HTTP it will be working on port 80. And then the port forwarding rules, we will be adding the port forwarding also the moment we will start configuring our web services or any applications here. So we'll be doing the port forwarding from here. NAT rules, these can also be defined here. For the VPN and WireGuard VPN, it has by default created here. In case you want to change it, you can simply edit this so it will work. But we will do the NAT rules also the moment we start configuring the OpenVPN or VPN here. Then in the bypass rules, in case you want to bypass, these rules are enabled here, and bypass rule you can use for the DNS also, but we will be creating those rules and I will show you that as well. Filter rules, you can add different type of filter rules here. Those we will see here in the firewall configuration. Routes, it has created the route by itself. You can get the static route also. Once we configured that, it has created the routing table here the moment we made the changes to our local network. But here, in case you want to add the static route where you want to move the traffic from one network to another, so you can create the route, and we will see that in the next videos. Dynamic routing, if you enable dynamic routing, the moment you create any network, it will automatically create its route. I will not recommend you to do that to make sure that you are working in a highly secure environment. DNS servers, in case you want to create the local DNS, for example, if I say abc.syncbricks.com, so you can define its IP address. So here you can create the DNS by yourself. And domain name servers also can be added over here for the international domain name servers. And then in case you want to define the static map for the DHCP, so you can add those over here. So you can provide the MAC address and what should be the IP address with that, and add the description. So it will automatically assign that IP address to those devices. And whatever current leases are there, you can see all those current leases here. Right now, I don't see anything. The moment I will start connecting the devices with this, or the moment Arista becomes my local DHCP server. Finally, advanced, you can go to network cards. You will see all the network cards here. In case you want to change the MTU or Ethernet media type, so you can choose it from here. So for example, if it is 10 Gbps, so you can mention here, or 1 Gbps, you can mention here. And MTU default, of course, is 1500. You can see here 1500 is default, but in case you want to make the changes, you can do that as well. And in case you want to have some custom configuration for the DNS and DHCP, you can click here. You can add those custom configurations here. UPnP, in case you want to enable the UPnP, you can do that. Access rules, these are all the default access rules, or these are all the default firewall rules which are created. So we'll go to that also. These rules are defined in the network. You can change, you can make the changes here. Some of the rules are automatically created, but in case you want to disable or enable the rules, you can do that as well. We'll not make any changes here. And then in case you want to define the quality of service here, depending upon your network traffic, how you want to maintain, so you will be enabling the quality of service over here as well. This was about the basic network configurations. I will just go back here and I will save the changes here down on the right side. You can see here at this place, changes can be saved over here. The moment you save the changes, then you can go back to the configuration. So we have covered the network basics here. So network basic configuration we have seen. So let us continue to next video. We will see other basic configurations in Arista next generation firewall.